As the late bluesman Dr. John once so eloquently put it, your edumacation ain't no better than what you understand. Unfortunately, despite a great deal of edumacating, it is highly debatable whether or not our colleges are producing much understanding. By this, I do not mean to make the sort of critique that a salty blue-collar laborer might make about the new college boy who has just come onto the job, someone who might be full of head learning but lacking in the practical experiences of life. This old animosity is just the natural tension between youth and experience, between knowledge and wisdom. A great education is like the wineskin that Jesus talked about, young, fresh, and new. But it will age, and the age will improve it. I'm pointing at something different that has been occurring on our college campuses for decades. It is not that our college courses are too theoretical and not practical. It's that our college courses have increasingly turned soft. They have ceased to demand serious intellectual effort, and have instead made education into a toxic concoction of vacuous box-ticking exercises mixed with a demand for ideological conformity. There's a kind of education that scratches at the surface of the mind. It focuses on processes and facts to be memorized and then probably swiftly forgotten, but it fails to cut deeper into the mind and address one's actual understanding. The actual process of learning to think critically, to think clearly, is a far more difficult and painful process than most students are prepared for, and it is a process increasingly absent from America's classrooms. In their 2011 book entitled Academically Adrift, Limited Learning on College Campuses, sociologists Richard Arum and Josipa Roska gave a fairly grim survey of the present state of American colleges and universities. One of their most striking observations is that 45% of college students see no progress in critical thinking, complex reasoning, and writing skills over the course of their freshman and sophomore years. I would argue that this is largely because the first 2 years of college are essentially remedial, teaching students what they should have learned in their high schools. In 2018, only 38% of ACT test takers scored high enough to be considered prepared for college-level coursework, while 69% of them still went on to college. So those first 2 years necessarily must be significantly dumbed down, while half the class either catches up or drops out. This, however, is more of an indictment of our K-12 schools than it is a critique of our colleges. Colleges do have to play the hand that they are dealt. If half of their incoming freshmen are insufficiently prepared, then some amount of remedial work must be done in those first 2 years. This is all the more reason to invest in our K-12 schools. Nevertheless, our colleges have unfortunately adjusted to accommodate our nation's lower and lower expectations for education. Arum and Roxa describe what a current college student in America can hope for. Quote, they might graduate, but they are failing to develop the higher order cognitive skills that it is widely assumed college students should master. These findings are sobering and should be a cause for concern. End quote. The current situation in higher education illustrates how important it is to have real scholars teaching students how to think and reason. There's no substitute for great teachers who love their material and love their students. This is what New St. Andrews College is all about. At NSA, we are leading the way in doing education the right way. Join us in our mission to provide a real education. Your support is crucial to our success. By donating to our endowment fund today, you can help us continue to educate the next generation with unparalleled rigor. Thank you for your generosity.